Hello, Knights fans. We're back with another edition of the FDU Men's Basketball Report here with Coach Greg Herenda. Coach, 3 straight losses. You're still in second place in the NEC standings, but what concerns you a little bit about this losing streak?
Well, I think we're not immune to it. You know, like everyone in America that plays in a good league has a stretch where, and it really comes down to be honest with you, we've been guarding, rebounding, but not shooting the ball. Our offense is our problem. And I think when we score, we get into our defense better. So our last 3 games, we've been shooting 24% from 3 and just barely 40% from the floor. And that's not good for us because it doesn't allow our defense to prosper. So I'm very, confident that we'll, get out of this little schneid. But we've got to take better shots, make them, and get into our defense. For the season now in our conference, we're giving up 67 points a game, and that's plenty for us to win. But we need to play better offense, share the ball better, finish. We're missing a lot of layups, started to miss some free throws, and we haven't made threes consistently for the last 3 games. So I think it's a stretch where we go through. We're still in second place. We're 2 games out of first place. We still have Mount here, and it's a lot of we have 6 games left, and it's a big 6.
Yeah, you talked about that, which is one of the big concerns coming into the season. You really wanted to focus on defense and rebounding. You played Wagner here on Saturday, one of the top rebounding teams in the country, and you matched them on the glass, but then your shooting goes awry. So have you been pleasantly surprised, I guess, by the defense and rebounding that you've seen?
Well, not surprised, because if these guys, if they work at something, they will excel in it. And when I got here, we just had to teach them how to play hard, and they did, and how to win, and we have. And now how to guard and rebound, and now to put it all together on a nightly basis is difficult. But to be 8-4, there are a number of teams with 4 losses. Duke, Louisville, Creighton, Butler. Until last night, Michigan State had 4, and then now they have 5. Notre Dame's got 6. So we're not any different than those programs, and those leagues are competitive, and so is our league. Central's a very good team. They've won 3 out of 5. We've won 2 out of 5. So it's college basketball, and but I think now our bar is set. When we lose 1 game, or 2 games, or 3 games, people panic, and we're not panicking.
Yeah, it's a long season, as you know, so you can't get too high up or down in the middle of the slate. One thing that's been helpful is you've been getting a little healthy now. You got Earl Potts back in the lineup. You got Gassan Neme. How hard is it, though, to balance all these minutes? As you know better than anyone, there's only so many minutes to go around.
I just think the more players you have, the better opportunity you have to win, and our players haven't been healthy all year and still aren't. Really, Tyrone is out, and now Gus is banged up still, but that's last year we had no injuries, to speak of, and this year you have injuries. But I think it's a societal issue. Everyone's hurt, everyone's sick. I don't know about injuries. When I never missed a game, and my classmates never. And we didn't. We had a universal weightlifting program that all you did was on one set. But now with the technology, people are stronger and more flexible, but they're more prone to injury. So I think there's a cost-benefit ratio to all the technology. But these guys, when they play, they give everything they have, and I think it's a credit to guys that come back and our training staff. I complimented Amanda after the game where Steph had his eye opened up in Brooklyn. It's a team effort here, but if Gus can't play or Tyrone can't play, it gives an opportunity for Caleb Bishop to play. And quite honestly, depth for us is a key, and I think depth is only recorded after the entire season's over. So right now, I'm sure Caleb isn't playing his best right now, but at the end of the year, he's going to make a big play for us, I'm sure. And even Mike Schroback now coming off the bench is doing a really, really solid job. So I'm very in tune with our players' health, but I also understand that we have the depth to combat that, lack of help when it happens.
Yeah, in terms of that depth, you mentioned Mike Schroback, Caleb Bishop, some of these guys that don't necessarily get a lot of minutes all the time. Sometimes they're in and out of the lineup. How do you keep them to stay ready and make sure they know when their number's called?
Well, we just practice hard every day, and they know the deal. That's the deal from day one here. And I treat our scholarship players like our non-scholarship players, and it's a question of readiness. And I think in life, that's the key as well. It's a life lesson. They might get jobs that they're not going to be the top person in their company, but someday there's going to be an opportunity for them to step up and become that person. So we don't hand anything out here. We earn everything, and our players, understand that, and they know that their number can be called at any time, and they've got to be ready.
Yeah, you mentioned Central Connecticut State. They're up next for you here on Thursday on ESPN3. Team that's playing better as of late, as you mentioned, 3 out of 5 wins. Had a big upset out at Mount St. Mary's, which kind of helped the rest of the NEC beating a top team like that. Right. How have you seen on tape from their development?
Well, I just knew when Danielle got the job. I told everybody, and I told Danielle, I said, Danielle, when you're in the same position I was in, just have the kids play hard and believe in what you do, and you're going to win games sooner than you think. And it's funny, I can't wait to see him tomorrow, because winning 3 out of 5 games is probably a lot sooner than he thought. But the one great thing about Central Connecticut, and I think how he established it and how Danielle's carrying it on, is they play every possession of just like we do. So their statistical categories, they're not great at anything, but what they're great at is playing every single possession. And I'm sure they do that in practice. And therein comes success in January, and now in February. The teams that just play the hardest will eventually win basketball games, and they're winning games, and we need to win games. So it's, March is around the corner, but we still have, 6 games to get to that point. But we got to take it one possession at a time, play really, really hard. And I tell my players all the time is, when you win a game, the world changes. The world changes. When you lose a game, the world changes, and you have to stay somewhere in the middle and understand that that's the sport that we play, and that's why it's the greatest sport on earth.
Yeah, and you talked about it in your last game in the recap about how last season 3 losses, and it kind of sparked you all the way through the end of the season, right, through the NEC tournament. That's one of those things. So now,
we didn't plan that, though. That wasn't planned. No, I mean, it was the truth, but we didn't want to lose 3 games right here. But we got to pay the piper, and I think at the end of the day, if you're not scoring the ball in college basketball, you're in a tough spot. It used to be if you're not guarding, you're in a tough spot, which is still the truth. But, we got to put everything. We haven't played good basketball. I think the first half against Bryant, the entire game against LIU, we played 3 really good halves. We haven't played our best basketball at all, and I think, hopefully it's going to be in front of us right now.
Yeah. So 4 to 5 remaining on the road after Thursday. Team tends to thrive on the road, so hopefully you can get it going there.
Oh, no, we have 4 of our last 6 on the road, and, yeah, I think our team thrives when we're playing hard together, sharing the basketball. And then I don't care what building we're in, we're capable of winning, but I know it's going to snow and everything like that, but the people that live close by and the kids in the dorms hopefully can get over here for a 5 o'clock, ESPN 3 game, and we're excited about it.
Great. Thanks for your time today, Coach. I'm now joined by assistant coach Dwayne Lee. Coach, you're really in charge of the guards here on this program, and they've been leading us a lot of the way, specifically Steph Jiggets, Darian Anderson, and Darnell Edge, leading us in scoring. But one thing I've been impressed with since I've came here is their ability to rebound. Is that something you really focus on?
Well, yeah. I think going into this year, we wanted to improve as a team collectively in rebounding, and that includes the guards as well as the big guys. And we're constantly on these guys about getting 5 guys on the defensive glass, and they've embraced it, and they've been doing a pretty good job at it. And we all continue to grow as a team collectively doing a good job at it. So, I think they've embraced that challenge and done a pretty good job.
You had a great career at St. Joseph's, a lot of success there. Got to play alongside some NBA guys, Jameer Nelson, Delonte West. How has that experience helped you as a coach in imparting that on this team?
Well, I just try to lean on those experiences as a coach now and pass it on to these guys. In practice, I would go against Jameer every day and Delonte every day, 2 guys that, especially Jameer, who's still playing in NBA, who've had great careers. So I just try to pass on some of the experiences, some of the knowledge, and these guys have done a great job of embracing that, and they grow every day out here on the court. You can see the development that they've made and the strides they've made from freshman year until now. So.
I've been doing this a lot. I talked to Bruce Amberger about it, kind of put you on the spot a little bit. Yeah. Looking back at your career now as a coach and as a player, what is one of the moments that jumps out the most at you?
As a coach?
Yeah.
As a player?
As both.
Well, as a player, obviously, I think my best year and our best year as a team, we went to the Elite Eight in 2004, and we were one shot away from the Final Four. So that's obviously the highest, the biggest moment of my playing career as a collegiate athlete, and obviously last year as a coach, being able to win a championship, NEC championship, up until this point is the biggest thing I'm proud of.
So obviously the team had a lot of success last season, picked up some pace at the end of the season, cruised to the NEC tournament, won the title. Now obviously we're into the second half of this season. How has the team grown in your eyes from that standpoint?
I think the team has remained hungry. I think coming into this year we set some goals that we're still reaching towards and trying to achieve. And as the guards, I think we've, especially myself, have leaned on these guys to grow as leaders, as players, and I think they've embraced that in practice, and they continue to develop in that aspect. So with 6 games to go in league play, I think these guys have done a great job up to this point, and I expect them to continue that.
And the one thing we've seen here is the team's had a lot of success on the road in the conference. After Thursday, 4 of the final 5 games will be on the road here in the NEC. You've played in some tough environments during your career. How is that? What has been your message to the team, and what do you tell these guys when they want to play, when you have to play on the road?
Well, like you said, we've had a lot of success, so I think we're pretty confident playing on the road. And there's just something about playing on the road, and the other team's fans are loud, and just being able to quiet those guys down. So I think our guys embrace that, and we've done a pretty good job. And we, with 4 games, like you said, down the stretch to go, I think we are going to lean on some of our past experiences, especially going into a hostile environment like we did in championship games. So we're prepared and we're ready to continue that success.
Great, thanks for your time today, Coach. So the Knights host Central Connecticut State here on Thursday, 5 p.m. That game can be watched on ESPN3. Then they will be back on the road on Saturday at 4 p.m. where they'll take on LIU Brooklyn. For all information about the FDU men's basketball team, head to FDUKnights.com.